Well, hello world, and hello everyone else on the internet, and aliens and anything in between. Welcome to the Global Star Party today, whatever time zone it is for you. Yes, we've just got a fancy intro now. We'll thank Dylan for that one in a minute, once he shows us his bald head, down in the peanut gallery, literally in this case. We're now quite fancy. We have the social medias too, so you can now follow us on Twitter at Global Star Party. Nice and obvious, easy one to remember there. But we'll be tweeting out things we're doing in between shows and pretty much anything else that we can muster that's space-based as well. And of course, you can follow us on Google Plus as Plus Global Star Party. And heck, I think we even have a Flickr in the work in progress and an Instagram coming up too. So we are now doing all the socials. It's almost a proper show, what with the intro. I'm still a stuttering, mumbling fool, though, so hey, less of me and more of the gallery below. And I'm going to start with new guy to the show on my far left. He says, it's that way now, because it's all mirrored. So Andrew, if you'd like to say hello and where you're coming from tonight.
G'day, how are you? And yeah, I'm from Adelaide, South Australia, and we're completely clouded out at the moment, so unfortunately no images from me tonight.
Well, you're here, and that's always a start. And then introducing the baldest gentleman on the show, my co-host Dylan.
I'm channeling Scott Lewis from the Virtual Star Parties. I thought I'd toe the line and do the right thing and shave my head. No, this is a cheap haircut from my 3.5-year-old toddler. And I should also mention that Andrew Wall helped us with our first test broadcast, which was a lunar eclipse, and that went great. And so thanks for that, Andrew. And we've got some great footage from Andrew of the occultation of Uranus from a couple of nights ago, so that's great. And we've got some photos to share, and we also have Paul Stewart, but we're a little bit clouded out at the minute there. So
indeed, he will be bringing us our live views. But next to Paul tonight, we have our regular and now softly spoken Kevin. Good morning, evening.
Yes,
Kevin.
I'll try to speak up for everyone. Evening, everyone.
Hello there, and we also have Paul, who is promised to dance for us tonight. Share live views. Hello, Paul.
Well, I'll try, but
He's
these
all
cloudy
all
things
gone
are going to
camera
get
out.
in the road.
No, those
yeah,
darn clouds.
that happens.
I'm going to let everyone know now briefly, and maybe we'll get it back at some point. We did actually have a live view of Saturn, which is we did actually bring the live astronomy in. So, fingers crossed, no pressure, Paul. But can you make those clouds go away, please? Alrighty, so I think I'm going to go over to Dylan to start with this morning. He's really thrown me out, this whole thing. And I think we have some insane footage of the International Space Station.
Yeah, this is something that was shared on our page through the week by a guy called Julian, who is JW Astronomy on Instagram and on Google+. And this is obviously a photo of the International Space Station. But what a crisp and clear capture this is. Like, we're used to seeing photos of the International Space Station and some good shots across the moon, but just as a plain shot straight of the station itself, it's just remarkably crisp. It's a stack of, I think, he's not here to explain, unfortunately, but I think it's a stack of several images. And when I asked him about how he'd captured this, he said he has an EQ6 mount, like mine, one of those nice white ones, but that he tracked it manually with his finder scope, and I just don't understand how he's doing this. But it sounds to me like he just knew it was passing, and he lined it up and had his camera running and took the video and stacked the frames later. And manually, I guess, use that hand paddle or whatever to track it across the sky. I don't really get how that's even possible. So hopefully he can explain it to us in more detail at a later stage. But it is a really, really nice image of the International Space Station.
That is, I mean, that is phenomenal. Now, and you know, it's one of those things that I want to look at myself. It's normally this bright streak that flies across, but that is quite an image, and it's nice to. I think that's our first kind of man-made object image that we have had on the show. And it's a brilliant shot. Now, I am going to switch to Paul because we do promise live views, and there we have it, folks. That is Saturn right now, coming to you over the internet from a guy that refuses to dance but does bring us these views. I mean, that is. I mean, Saturn is. I think everyone would agree it's one of those planets that no matter how many times you come to it, you can just look at it for ages and it's still amazing no matter how many times you do.
And this is a live shot, and that is quite a special thing. I mean, people will see this on the repeat, and that's great. But if you are tuning in live, then you are looking at an image of Saturn that is happening right now, which is definitely very special.
I mean, that's also better seeing than I get in the UK. I mean, you can see this is live because I mean that is wobbling around a little bit and distorting. But you can just make out the Cassini division towards the edges of the rings there, and it's beautifully tilted. So the rings are really quite spread out at the moment, and actually they'll continue to tilt. So visually they'll become more and more spread out over the next few years. Unfortunately, we will have to completely rely on people like Paul and Kevin for that one, because from a northern hemisphere perspective, it's just going to disappear. So that's an absolutely beautiful view.
Yes, unfortunately for me, it's not going to be tonight.
And you can see, and there you go, the wonders of live astronomy. The clouds have just floated in front of it. Darn you, atmosphere! So useful for the breathing, but not so good for the astronomy. And it's gone again. There you go. And that's that's the pains of being an astronomer. Clouds will just cheekily get in the way like that.
You know what they say, never work with children, animals, or planets.
Yes, I think planets are actually, generally speaking, more pesky than children sometimes, but anyhow. But, I mean, that's a lovely view, and you can just make out, or at least my eyesight's attuned to looking at these things now, you can just make out some of the cloud bands within Saturn's, I use the word surface loosely, atmosphere I think is better. And now, Paul, no challenge, but if you can up the exposure and find any moons, I will tip my hat to you. And I am actually wearing a hat, so I can give that a go.
While Paul's doing that, if you like, I've got the video of the ISS transit, also by JW Astronomy. I'll just get this screen shared for you.
Okay, I shall. Oh, right.
Okay, then. You're looking at my YouTube there.
We are looking at YouTube here. Oh, this is brilliant.
Okay, so this will give people an idea of just how fast the ISS moves. Did you blink? Did you miss that? Because here it is in slow motion.
I mean, that is.
Yeah, it is fast, and so as a photographer trying to capture that, you better have a damn fast shutter speed or capture speed, because that thing just flies. And this is going across Jupiter, so not only a remarkable image of the International Space Station from Julian this week, just on its own, but passing in front of Jupiter, which is an incredibly small object in the sky, is just brilliant.
That is, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the ISS passes, goes around the Earth about 17 times a day. I mean, it's
every 9 minutes.
That is incredible. And then to capture it going past a small target like that you need some really high frame rates there, and also some, I'm going to say luck, a lot of skill, but a little bit of luck too as well. I mean, that's a lot of planning, that is, to get that. So you really should check out this guy's work. I think we shall leave a link in the event page and on the YouTube when the show's over, just to share out some of his stuff, because I mean that is quite phenomenal.
Yeah,
nice work.
I don't know if maybe Kevin, if you've got some tips. I have used I think it's the Heavens Above website for scheduling calendar alerts for this sort of thing. So if you're keen to capture a photo like this, then you need to plug in your coordinates and get ready, because it will tell you usually a week or a day in advance about how it's going to go and whether it's possible to get something like this, and then you've just got to set up and hope the clouds don't get in the way.
So I feel like
I keep a couple of apps on my phone handy.
Mm-hmm.
Heavens Above is one that has a very popular website for that purpose. They also have a mobile phone app that you can use on the mobile devices. Satellite Safari from the guys who make Sky Safari. They also have a phone app that you can use to track any satellite you care to name, even the light sail, which is making the news at the moment.
Yeah, wow.
That's pretty awesome. Now, I feel like I've been picking on Paul here with the whole trying to get the moons in, because the clouds are just not playing ball tonight. Briefly, I think I did glimpse one of Saturn's moons, but unfortunately I think Paul is suffering with the clouds. He hasn't quite got the death ray out. Oh, there we go. Just straight up north.
There it is. Yep.
So I see two now.
Yeah, here they are.
There we go. Now I'm going to guess, because this is I'm better with Jupiter's moons, but the large one directly north, I'm guessing, should be Titan at this point. And then I'm assuming it'd be Dion.
I've got them, Chris. I've got them.
You've got them.
Anti-clockwise from Titan. I've got them. Anti-clockwise from Titan is Rhea, Tethys, and Dione.
Nice. Thank you, Paul. You're not just bringing us a planet; you're bringing us moons too. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to have the moons on show here is because when you're looking at Jupiter, quite often you'll see the moons go past, and it looks like they go in front, they go behind, they go in front, they go behind. Whereas Saturn, because it's of its inclination to us right now, you could effectively, if clouds, etc., were not such a pain, you could actually see the orbits these moons make around Saturn as circles or ellipses, I suppose, from this angle, going around the planet, because the whole orbital tilt allows us to see their motions as semicircles, well, circles. So it's one of those things that really kind of gives an extra dimension to Saturn, is the fact that you can see the whole plane in which the moons sit on. And also, I like making calls.
But on the other hand,
we
don't get the lovely eclipses and occultations that you get with Jupiter's moons.
Yes,
shadow transits and the like.
This is true. I mean, both planets are really the kings of our king and queen. You can just decide gender of planet, I suppose, but of the solar system, and they offer such different things. For me, Jupiter's always a favourite because of getting those exquisite cloud details in. Not quite Damien Peach from my end, but still, they're there. So thank you, Paul, for bringing that shot in. And I think I'm going to ask Kevin, can you bring up your 2012 to 15 Saturn tilt? Doing a segue here, or trying to.
Yes.
And I'd just like to thank Paul as well, because at the moment it is 3-0 to New Zealand. It's like an All Blacks rugby match here. We're getting annihilated because Paul has rescued us 3 episodes in a row now with live views. Just fantastic.
Paul occasionally drops out as well. Now, Kevin, there we go. And
is that coming up?
That is coming through lovely. So, Kevin, if you'd like to give us a kind of a rundown of what we've got here.
Well, I was a bit inspired by Chris here, actually, who posted a series of Saturn images that he'd taken over the last 3 years. Well, you made the point that you've been using the same telescope, the same equipment, and you've been getting very consistent results because of that. I thought I'd show what I've done over the last 4 years, not just because it shows exactly the same increase in the tilt of the rings, because you can get that from yours, but looking at the way that the equipment and the techniques that have evolved for me over the last few years have made it such a difference to impress upon those who are starting out in astrophotography that, as disappointing as your early results might be to you, all you need to do is just keep at it and keep at it, and you'll get there, and you'll start getting the sorts of images that you are actually happy with. Maybe not the Damien Peaches and the Christopher Goes and the Anthony Wesleys and the like, but maybe in time I'll be doing that as well. Give me a few more years and another 8 inches of aperture, and who knows what I can do.
I was going to say, yeah, Damien Peach, I'm coming for you as much as the rest of us are as well. We will have you. We will have you beat on something one day. And I really ought to say that you can really see that tilt progressing as it will progress over the years. I'm really hoping that you're able, as you've got the better vantage point for the time being. I hope you add to that, and we see an update next year for 2016's tilt.
And I imagine that in 2012 you've had to increase the physical resolution of that to match the others as well, right?
That is correct. I've had to do that because the camera that I was using for that, the Meade, has much larger pixels and results in a much smaller image on the screen. So I've actually increased that, and that accounts for some of the blur in that photo. But I've tried to just sort of match it up to make it look uniform. So there is a little bit of artificiality there, but all for dramatic effect.
What else has changed in the series? Have you changed telescope at all, or is it just cameras?
No, it's all the same telescope. All images with a 2x Barlow lens. The first 2 were with the Meade DSi color, and the first image isn't color because there's a little checkbox in the acquisition software that says mono, and for reasons I can't remember, I had that checked and forgot to uncheck it before I imaged, and I never actually got around to getting another Saturn image that year. So that's a monochrome image through a color CCD. The next one I got it right, but it took me a year to get there. And I was pretty happy with that result in 2013, I have to say. I was wandering around showing everyone who was the least bit interested, check this out, I've been photographing Saturn. And then I picked up a monochrome, the QHY 5L2, which is a very good planetary and guiding camera. And I took a few monochrome images and was very pleased with the results there, and just wondered whether or not I could incorporate the color channels from the Meade and somehow morph those into an RGB background for the luminance, and that's what the 2014 image is a nice clean luminance image from the monochrome camera with color from the color CCD. And because the size and the pixels don't match up, it did require some transformations in the background to get it all to match up. So it's a kind of more artificial than your normal astrophotography. I mean, it's all artificial. It's all combined channels and Photoshop, but I thought that was more artificial than others. But the 2015 shot, that last one in the progression there, is a complete RGB and luminance from the same camera, taken at the same time, same camera, and so it melds in much easier. The processing certainly a lot easier when you've just got all the channels there matching up exactly, and a much cleaner image overall.
That's yeah,
very, very pleased with those ones. Yeah.
So no matter what your starting position, folks, you with practice, patience, and a lot of frustration in between, you will definitely get better at it. And no pressure, Kevin. But 2016, I'm expecting to see double the detail. Just
iPod.
Well, with Saturn hanging around in Libra and Scorpio for quite some time to come, I think we should be right there.
Awesome.
Good views from this side of the Earth.
All right, then just rub it in.
Those rings are going to open up for another couple of years yet. I think 2017 they max out. I think if memory serves me right, 2017 they max out to the peak of Saturnian summer, and then they'll start turning back in again towards equinox, where we have trouble seeing the rings at all.
Yes, they become quite thin, but those rings are only 10 meters thick on average. So they're paper thin compared to the rest of the planet. So it definitely gets a bit trickier to resolve them. Almost looks ringless, I think. I've seen some photos where it's the tiniest of slivers. So now I am going to click over to Andrew here, who has been waiting patiently in the peanut gallery, but he has quite a fantastic video to show us all. So Andrew, I shall let you explain what we're checking out.
Well, at the moment, I don't think you
there.
can. Yeah, I don't think you can see any video at the moment.
Let me
black
queue it up.
screen.
1 minute.
Well, I shall.
Switch over to me, and then Andrew can explain what we're looking at.
Alrighty, okay. So Andrew, whilst this plays, you explain what we're looking at here.
Okay, just the other morning, at Friday morning, it was at 3:30 in the morning. Uranus went behind the moon, or the moon passed in front of Uranus as we saw it. I was able to track this pretty much all the way through, and with the video, you'll be able to see Uranus, which is smack bang right in the middle of the screen, and the moon will pass over the top of it. You'll also see a little bit of wobble there caused by the periodic error on the mount, which is a HEQ5 Pro. So if you play the video, you might be able to see that. I'm not getting the video.
Because you're in the Hangout, Andrew, you might have to click on my screen there so you can see it up close. But I'm just gonna keep replaying the video. You can see Uranus just popping out there.
There it is, popping out. So it shows all the ingress and egress times. Happens quite quickly on the video, but in actual fact, it took over an hour and a half for the planet to make its way behind the moon. It's a good way to spend a morning.
Yeah, that's a really, occultations are hard to get at the best of times, but Uranus is a very faint magnitude planet, so yeah, it's quite an achievement to get that. You can see how bright the moon is just for the exposure.
Yeah.
You did it, it's great.
Yeah, these are all 1 second exposures. There's about 530 images in the whole lot, so I'm quite happy with it.
That's fantastic. And the fact that you 1 second exposure, obviously the moon is this massive glowing orb, and there's Uranus, tiny and faint in the background, bless it. But fantastic. I mean, it's something I have to try and capture myself. The wonders of the geometry of our solar system. We've got this position where we can, with a bit of luck, see these things happen, and with a bit of planning. So I think the lesson from today's show so far is if you've got the planning and you've got the tracking ability, these things are great to look out for. And I'm just going to click on pool for a second here, and as you can see, clouds, lots of clouds there, Paul. In fact, this is, as you see, this is an all-sky camera, so I'm assuming this is a fisheye lens. I don't know what camera you've got plugged into it, but this is Paul Sky live right now. And I'm terrible with southern constellations, so I have no idea what I'm actually looking at here. That's a very mysterious sky from my perspective. I can't see Ursa Major, for instance, so I'm lost right now looking at this. So I think,
if I'm not mistaken, I can see the Southern Cross over there on the left, and Hadar, Alpha Centauri, the bright ones. Is that right, Kev?
Yep, that's right. It's a little bit distorted. I don't know if you can't see my my pointer there, but just to center of left and down and to center of left of center are the 2 pointers to the Southern Cross, pointing to the Southern Cross, which is just a bit further to the left, and it looks like it's mirror imaged.
I can see the band of our Milky Way, our galaxy, which from my light polluted northern position is almost non-existent at all. And of course, we've got a nice tree
so
there.
The two bright stars to the right. To the right, the 2 bright stars. The one above is Saturn. The one below is Antares. And if you know that it's Antares, you can see the 3 stars of the thorax of Scorpius, and the 3 stars forming the head just below Saturn there.
Yeah, this all sky cam is great, and Paul has captured fireballs from night to night, and he did also post a photo of the aurora australis, the southern hemisphere aurora, one lucky night as well. I think he was telling me that he goes through something like 11 gigabytes of data a night and just reviews it in the morning and sees if there's anything interesting, and then dumps it. But that's a lot of data, and I'd love to get something like this set up, especially at a dark sky location like Paul's. You come across some fantastic stuff from night to night.
I mean, I tried all sky myself with the ASI 120 series of cameras from, I think they're called ZWO. They come actually with a fisheye lens you can screw into the camera. I've given it a go, but I get condensation. Whoa, okay. It's just a sort of shock reaction there. Whoa, what's going on?
You just bumped the camera.
Yeah, just spun the camera around quickly. I think we're looking at some star trails here. So at least I know where Southern Pole is now. It's somewhere to the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. I don't know if it's flipped for you guys. So that's some very long exposure or multiple frames stacked together as a kind of like a time lapse, but all compressed into one image. So you can see the rotation.
Are you there, Paul? Can we hear your audio? I think I see a small fireball or small shooting star in there.
Ah, yes.
No.
I think Paul was doing that whole, I'm not talking, I'm just showing you space.
Which is good enough for me.
I was going to say, these images you can actually do with even an SLR or even just a regular camera. Yes, Paul's audio has gone now, so we might be down just to hand gestures. Oh, okay, now that's
there's a fireball.
There's a nice fireball there.
Wow. And you can see the galactic core there nicely as well.
That's beautiful. I was going to say, this is one of those things that if you get a camera sat outside and just taking a photo regularly and just leave it going overnight, because chances of actually timing one of these things is pretty much nothing at all. You'll never really capture it. But if you've just got a camera there just taking shots constantly during the night, much like Paul was explained earlier, you can review the images and see if anything cropped up in one of your photos. It's how I've accidentally captured the space station going over and a couple of fireballs myself, but that is quite the fireball. It would have been brilliant, of course, to be sat there and see that live.
It's probably worth noting that there is a huge barrier to entry for astronomy generally because of the equipment and the learning, the time it takes to get familiar with all the processes. But in terms of just going outside and taking a photo of the stars, it's something that people can get into really, really quickly. If you've got just a normal DSLR camera and a tripod, that is really all you need. As long as you get your timing and your long exposure right, you can take a fantastic shot of the galactic core, the arms of the Milky Way like this. You might not get a fireball, of course. You might need a bit more patience and time for that. But in terms of just getting started with astrophotography, it is really something to just get out there into a dark sky location and take a long exposure, even just a 15-second or 30-second exposure, depending on how wide your lens is of the sky. And it reveals stuff that your eyes just can't see, and it really blows you away.
This is very true. I mean, just set that f-stop as low as you can go, bung the ISO up, not too far, but ISO 800 or 1600 is more than sufficient, especially if you are in a darkish environment and light pollution won't wash out with you too much. And yeah, just point your camera up, take the lens cap off, that's important, and then yeah, take photos, and you can get, like Dylan says, some beautiful pictures of the night sky, and you can point out planets, constellations, etc., and always worthwhile. Now, I think I saw Andrew here was showing a video, and this looks like some kind of occultation going on here. Would you look at that? That is Saturn peeking out from behind the moon. So what we have here is very much like the Uranus video, but this time around we have Saturn in the background there as the moon passes in front of it.
I was actually just experimenting with the video to see if I could get it to play. So,
so I just jumped on you there. Yes, it works.
but yeah, I had the microphone muted, so you couldn't hear what I was saying anyway. So, yeah, this is occultation of Saturn, obviously. I can't remember when it was taken. It was taken a while ago. But I was just experimenting with some video and a reasonable view. This was before my, well, this was through the 80mm telescope, I think it was. So not too bad.
I like as you can just very sorry.
Yeah, so this was taken with a 900 NC webcam, Philips 900 NC. The close-up videos, anyway.
Was it 5 or 6 months ago? It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, because I cleaned out my hard drive recently. So, but yeah, that was. When did I upload this one? 2014, May 2014. So.
Yeah, 12 months ago.
Yeah, I was just checking to see if this would play the Uranus video.
That worked perfectly. So that's definitely something here. And Adam Synergy has joined us. He's watching live from the UK. So at least, like for me, it's a reasonable time today. So hello there. And also we have Russell, I believe, is watching as well. So hello, Russell, one of the founding guys behind this whole endeavor.
Oh, good. I've actually got one of Russell's images here. So if you want, I can throw that up.
Now then, go on then. I think we'll go to our softly spoken Kevin, and he can soothe us with an explanation of what we're looking at.
Well, these look like sunspots. He hasn't annotated the image there for us, so it's a large group of sunspots in hydrogen alpha light. No, sorry, no, this would be white light. No, this is white light, Russell.
Yeah, I think it's white light.
Yeah, Russell doesn't have, I don't think he's got hydrogen alpha there, so this is white light, a large set of sunspots and very good detail. The granulation, even on the regular part of the chromosphere, looks just very sharp and nice detail in the penumbra of each of the individual sunspots themselves. Don't know when this was taken. Actually, he's got a date there. So
if you're in the Q&A there, Russ, or the chat, just let us know if there's anything else you'd like us to say about this image as well.
So November of last year, it looks like.
Because there's a lovely group of sunspots there. Always love any images of the sun. I'm a little bit. It's my thing actually. I see a picture of the sun and that's it. I'm pretty giddy, to be fair. It's probably because I'm British and sunlight is so rare. So actually seeing the sun in this much detail is just amazing. In fact, the few days that we did actually get a sunlight in the UK, I was outdoors trying to get the most of it as I possibly could, and now it's gone. It's gone entirely for days now.
Now I know that Russell has, I think it's an 8-inch, maybe 6 or 8. It's not huge. But I've seen photos of his setup while he's been doing this sort of stuff, and he's in Nova Scotia in Canada, and he's out in the snow. He's literally digging a patch in the snow to stick his chair and and image the sun and the planets. He does really well. This is a lot of detail.
AR 2339.
Yes,
Active region 2339. He's corresponding via the Q&A app.
And we have another gentleman join us. Hello, Trevor. I don't know if you can hear us yet.
Hey, Trevor.
I can hear you. I can hear.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I can hear.
And where are we coming from tonight, Trevor?
Melbourne, Australia.
Awesome. Awesome. And do you have any live views? Because Paul's suffering with clouds right now.
Yeah, I'm in between clouds as well, but I've got Saturn up at the moment.
Awesome.
Wow, cool.
What's happening? Right.
That
Then,
means
well,
the score is 3-1 Australia, New Zealand.
yeah, this is beginning to balance it out there.
The Bledisloe Cup of astrophotography.
Well, whilst Trevor's sorting out Saturn there, and talking of Saturn, see what I did here? I'm going to share my little video that I did.
Nice.
So this is very similar to what Kevin posted in picture form, except because I've used pretty much the same equipment for the past few years and have managed to get a fluky day with the seeing. This is Saturn tilting further and further towards northern hemisphere summer. So I won't say it's particularly worth visiting the north of Saturn right now. Still not going to be pleasant despite it being summer there. As you can see, Saturn tilting and progressively getting blurrier as it sinks from my view. I think the one thing I note in this is the fact that the cloud bands seem to change quite dramatically over the years, something that you don't notice on a month-by-month basis, but over the years, you can see that Saturn's atmosphere is pretty dynamic. Or my processing skills are getting sloppy. Either way.
Well, very occasionally you can get lucky and see a storm reach the surface layers of the atmosphere in Saturn. You have to be very lucky.
That is a bit of luck, to be fair. But at least these days I can actually get the Cassini division, which when I first started out in imaging, didn't exist. I could never find it. And if I click over on Trevor now, it says clicking. There we go. More live views. We did it.
Yay.
More.
Trevor has come through with the goods.
Awesome.
It's live. Unfortunately, it's not tracking too well because I had got lots of cloud cover and I got nothing to align with.
Tell us a little bit about your setup there, Trevor.
It's a 12-inch Dob on a EQ6 go-to mount. Pretty much, that's about it. Pretty much it. So I'm using at the moment here I'm using an image source camera, a 618. Actually a DBK 618 color one. I do have a monochrome, but hey, I didn't want to muck around with the red, the RGB tonight, so I just went. I just took it easy.
Yeah, good.
Say with,
so as you can see, if you can see that live feed of Saturn there, I mean it's not too bad. It's not great, but
that's not too bad at all.
It's just one of those nights.
From a British viewer's perspective, that's some pretty beautiful seeing right now.
So, that's actually actually that's sitting behind a 5x Barlow as well.
Okay.
I can go 7. I can go 9. Actually, I have pushed the limit to about 9, but 7 fits in the screen very well. 9 basically you got the ball of Saturn in your face. So, but you really need good seeing to actually go 7 by or 9 by.
Yeah, I haven't had much experience with planetary photography at all. I do mostly nebula work, and I haven't even really gone down the rabbit hole of planetary stuff. But whenever I try putting a Barlow in, the image gets really ghostly. Is that just because I'm using a poor quality Barlow, or is that more to do with collimation and stuff like that?
Well, you've got to make sure your scope is collimated as well. But you will get, if you do use cheap bar, depending on the lenses, you will get like all these apparitions and all that stuff happening. You'll get colors different. You get your red, green at the top and blue at the bottom, or something like that on the images, which you can fix up. But I would say, if you're not spending about $300 and something bucks or $400 on a Barlow, probably not getting anything good.
Okay. Yeah, I just went for the kit Celestron one, and it's all right, but it doesn't seem that great. And there's also the power mates and stuff as well. If I was, what are you using? That looks great.
Yeah, I'm using a PowerMate at the moment, which is a Teleview 5x. But I do use William Optics, a lot of William Optic eyepieces, and Vixen as well. I think yeah, I haven't I think the last time I spent anything on an eyepiece was about $350.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I do have, and most of the eyepieces I do use are all eye relief. So you got about 60. I think they're about 65 degree. I do have 80, but 80 gives you a really good eye relief. You can sit back and don't have to put your eye on the eyepiece to actually go viewing anything. With your eye anyway.
So can we just jump to Paul just quickly? Between the clouds, he seems to have grabbed us a live image, a fantastic live image.
Well, we'll be bringing the live tonight.
Yep.
Now, I actually missed what this was because I have no idea.
Oh, that's right. You're in England.
Yeah. Yeah. What is this strange thing?
This is Centaurus A, elliptical galaxy in Centaurus, a very bright radio source. Some of the X-ray images too from the satellite that's doing X-rays. Some very spectacular X-ray, radio, and here in visible light imaging. It's a very active galaxy. It's a little bit unsure exactly how it got that dark dust band across it. Could be the result of a merger between a spiral and an elliptical galaxy there in process, which may account for the extra activity of that region. But it's a very good target. It's a very good test of your deep sky imaging skills to get a good image of Centaurus A.
Well, for a live image, that's pretty much better than any picture of a galaxy I've ever taken so far. So yeah, hats off to Paul there. Although I'm not doing it because my hair's terrible this morning. But actually, I would like to.
It is a bizarre galaxy.
I actually want to counter Kevin's explanation of that dark dust band. My own scientific opinion here. I think personally a giant spaceship's broken down and its exhaust is currently smoking in front of it. Just saying.
Obviously.
Obviously, you know. In fact, comments and any ideas what else that could be? Death Star's blown up. It's beautiful actually, and that is. Paul, thank you. I've never seen that. I now again want to move down south, way down south. That is fantastic. I really can't wait to bring this winter time my own live views. Hopefully, I'll have some kind of imaging equipment that can do this. And I want to go, haha, you guys have never seen this one. Because so far, I'm getting completely beaten. I mean, it's maybe 3-1 New Zealand to Australia, but it's still 0 from the UK. So any UK astronomers out there who can bring a live view of something, please join us. We need to beat them. We really do.
Yes, well, I think Andromeda is the one thing we are mostly envious of. Such a big, bright galaxy. You can sort of image it in one time of the year, but it is really low on the horizon. But that's one that we can't hold the candle to with in terms of galaxy objects anyway.
Well, thank you, Dylan.
We have the Magellanic Clouds.
Yeah.
Oh well, of course, the LMC, the SMC. But for that classic spiral galaxy, Andromeda's pretty spectacular.
I know what my first imaging target is, but I actually just checked out how many panels that one would take for me to image with my new camera that's coming. At least 13 panels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I need a hyperstar. Or a bigger chip.
Even then, it doesn't fit.
I mean, the Andromeda Galaxy is what is it 2-3 times the size of the full moon in terms of the amount of space it takes up in the sky? I mean, I don't want Paul's field of view here, but I mean, this one's very bright, but I have no sense of scale with this one. So,
it's very small.
This one's a small one. So, Paul, I don't know if you're targeting anything else at the moment, but yeah, I dare you to find us another one.
Also, Centaurus A was discovered by a guy called James Dunlop from a suburb in Sydney called Parramatta. And if you were in Parramatta today, you wouldn't be able to see a thing unless you were doing narrowband imaging. But it was discovered in 1826, and the Australians might know that Parramatta is, fairly urban kind of place.
Sorry.
Oh.
That arrow there is pointing to Pluto. And Paul, is this live? You just found Pluto for us. I'm assuming this is live. That is.
My goodness.
Yes, this is a live view of Pluto. I'd like to say that, and technically speaking, not resolved here, but somewhere is a photon, probably, kind of, from New Horizons.
New Horizons, yeah.
You know, it's there. Check that out. We've had live Saturn and we've got live Pluto. A tiny little dot. Which is soon going to get a lot.
It is the year of Pluto at the moment. In case you aren't as nerdy as the rest of us and all over the space news at the minute, Pluto. Nobody has ever seen Pluto before. The best we have are blurry photos from Hubble. Every picture or image you've ever seen of Pluto has been an artist's interpretation over the years. And for the very first time ever, within the next 30 days, we are going to see high-resolution photos of Pluto. So it's an extremely exciting time for Pluto.
That is fantastic, and I'd just like to say from a fellow Brit, Adam here, who's joined us in Q&A. He's enjoying the views of Saturn at 11:40 odd a.m. Yeah, glad we can bring it to you. I mean, this is what the show's all about: sharing those views, and well, just making Paul run around like a lunatic. I mean, the view of Pluto here. I mean, the fact that it is going to be such a big thing in the media, and of course we've got another probe currently trying to figure out if there's a space base on, I'm going to pronounce this terribly, Ceres.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
So there's a lot going on up there at the moment in our local area. But sorry, I'm still taken completely aback by Pluto. I've tried finding Pluto myself, and I did the whole take a photo where it should be, wait a long time, take another photo, see if anything moved, and nothing moved. So I'm probably pointing the wrong point to the sky, but it was just dim to see. Paul, could you just let us know how long the exposure was to get that?
And Kevin's got those Hubble images of Pluto.
There we go. 30 seconds it took for Paul to expose Pluto there. That's pretty good. And there is the best humanity managed to pull out of a massive space observatory. So you can see Pluto really is far away.
It's not even blue.
Yeah. That is, I mean, still to even get that from an object that far away is incredible. But Pluto soon should become a real world. One that you.
Well,
can,
you're already starting to get better.
I was going to say there have been recently somewhat enhanced, but yes, I think New Horizons. The last time I checked was about 40 million kilometers away from Pluto, which is incredible. It's still a long, long way away, but it's travelled, what, 3 billion kilometres so far?
Yeah, I've just installed a nice little app called Pluto Safari on my phone by the Sky Safari guys, which will give you updates and notifications when things are happening with this New Horizons mission. So that's a nice one to install.
And I believe Andrew is currently stood next to his telescope trying to get some kind of. It looks like he's setting it up there. The joys of astronomy. Trying to work really complex equipment in pitch black environments. And the more you
Andrew
get
is quite prolific as well. If you do follow Andrew on Facebook, or Google Plus. He does output some really great stuff a lot of the time, so worth following.
I was going to say, I mean, all the guys here, I shall give, before we go, I shall let you find out where you can find, follow, and check out their work. I'm going to quickly nip back over to Trevor here, who's got, once again, live view of Saturn. As you can see, that seeing makes it kind of smudge, reappear. And you become, I think, as all of us will know, if you're looking at Saturn through an eyepiece, you kind of, your eyes adjust, and you really value those brief, fleeting moments where suddenly everything's sharp, and you go, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking at, before it kind of smudges away a little bit there. I was going to say, Kevin, I'm hoping that next time we do this for your time zone, we can make you squeeze some live out for us.
Well, you and I both.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I'm hoping that I can get some kind of decent weather to correspond with all these shows, so I can actually just stop showing my ugly face and start sharing some live views. But Paul, I know you've got Pluto there, which is incredible. But go on, one more different thing before we disappear. I dare you. He's gonna hate me eventually.
And we should say we are all volunteers here. We don't get paid. We're just using Google's free technology to connect and share our live views. There's no extra software that you have to install. You can do this just by joining the Google Hangout on your imaging computer. If you are an astronomer, please contact us if you'd like to just sit on a call and share a live view, or just help commentate and discuss what we're looking at. Yeah, it's very informal. It's not scripted yet, but
yeah, we wing it.
Shout.
I mean, thank you to our new guys that have joined us tonight. I mean, we've got Trevor Taylor who's joined us and bringing us these beautiful views of Saturn at like almost midday in the UK. So and cloudy here as well. So an extra treat for me to see this. And also thank you to Andrew, who's currently got a live view of his telescope, but did bring us some beautiful occultations. Both prolific in this regard, so it's fantastic. So please, if you do have access to Google Plus, a webcam, and you can plug your telescope's camera into your computer, much like you would with imaging, and you can share views, then please do join us. We take images now to the event page. We've got that figured out. In fact, for once, I managed to get an event set up correctly, so I'm making progress with this whole thing. But you can add pictures in that you'd like us to share out, and you're welcome to join us. We have a community of amateurs and who are all willing to share out, so hopefully more and more bringing into the show. And Paul, I'm going to stop waffling for a second and click on Paul, because Paul's bringing us a live view. And again, I have no idea what this is. It's purple. It's a nebula.
The keyhole nebula at the heart of the Carina Nebula, with Eta Carina, the bright star just to left of center.
That's it.
And that is brilliant. And now I suddenly wish I could. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm moving south. Wanted to stick kettle on. I'll be there in about 36 hours. That is fantastic. Thank you, Paul. And Andrew has got. I'm going to click on Andrew, although I think it's no. Is it? Oh, there we go. And look at this. We've got multiple people giving us live views. And we have Saturn. That is brilliant. So, yes, folks, we actually are. I was going to say this one, when it goes up on YouTube and we can edit the title, I think we should call this one the one with the live views.
Really good work, guys.
And he's in beginning as well. Look at that. Live Saturn. See, actually, I thought for once, Paul here, the clouds skunked on him for Saturn, but luckily 2 other people came in to bring us great views. So thank you, guys.
No worries.
Just get that. Nicely done. Set up just in the nick of time. So first of all, I'm going to click back on Paul here, who's got that beautiful live nebula. Go on, Paul, quickly let us know how long was the exposure for this one? Swear down, every now and then I kind of hear audio from him, but then it kind of clips out. 90 seconds. That is brilliant. 90-second exposure. So 90 seconds ago, the photons were gathered. Well, 90 seconds they were gathered up and sent to you via the internet. The wonders of technology, collecting photons that have travelled for, well, I don't know how many light years away this object is, but a long time, to be bounced around inside Paul's telescope and brought to you over the internet.
This object, the Carina Nebula, is mistakenly sort of written about in nerd folklore as the one that will go supernova and kill us all by wiping out the ozone layer and causing wanton destruction across the Earth. There is some scientific debate as to whether that is actually even possible. But certainly if it does go supernova to that extent, it will look very pretty in the sky and will make lovely, pretty pictures for us all.
Yes, it's quite funny. Any death by space is probably going to be spectacularly pretty right before it hits us. You know, it's like if we do ever have an asteroid, nice big one, you know, proper cinema size of Africa object coming towards us, it'll make for some great photos that I will happily share out before we all meet oblivion.
Yes,
so,
hopefully we can share it live.
Yeah, live just before it hits us. There's a plan. I'm just going to click back on Trevor's view of
It might have
Saturn.
already happened there.
Exactly.
Oh yes.
Good point.
If we just don't know it yet.
It could have happened.
10,000 years before we do.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I mean, that's the wonderful thing when you are looking at these objects. You are looking backwards in time. You know, this is how it looked X number of thousand years ago. So if it has blown up, we haven't seen it yet. So everyone tonight, sleep easy. Space is really pretty, but it is out to get us as well. Reassuring there. Right then, believe it or not, we have managed to almost hit the hour mark. So I think I shall have to say, get everyone to say goodbye to our crowd. So
yeah, and thanks again for your commentary and hosting, Chris, and for organising the hangout and the broadcast as well. Really good job as usual.
Yep.
I'm just going to click on myself here and go, I just press buttons. It just happens. And then I just talk, and for some people, reason no one's wanted to kill me yet. So you know, thank you for putting up with me and letting me do this. And thank you for watching, everyone. So you can find this every weekend. We are alternating time zones a little bit. So next weekend we'll be lining it up so it's nighttime in America and for other parts of the world that way. So if you're on a Pacific island nearby, then it should also be nighttime for you. But we should hopefully get some American-side astronomers streaming live views of their night skies, and probably put pressure on Paul again to see if he can stream us the sun instead. So, you know, at this rate, we should just call it the Paul Stewart Show. But thankfully, we've had other people join us tonight. And so first of all, I would like to say thank you to Trevor, who joined us and brought us our live views. If we want to find you, Trevor, where can we check out some of your stuff?
Well, I do have Google Plus account as well, which is under Trevor Taylor anyway, or if not, Dynatech Computers, which is underneath my business as well, which is a Google Plus account. So, yeah, just Google Plus. That's where I'm advertising. That's where I'm going to. That's where it all is. So, just I don't want to branch out to different types of social media. There's so many out there, and it's too hard to keep up with them all. So, I just stay with one.
Sounds like a good plan. So yes, everyone, if you want to see some of Trevor's space stuff, I'm hoping he'll put some on and be willing to join us again for one of these events. You know, really thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I could probably, if you guys are going to do a daytime, well, it's going to be nighttime in America and daytime here, you can very well do some daytime imaging of Jupiter while it's up as well. So I don't know if anyone's actually attempted to do things like that, but you can actually do Jupiter during the day.
Well, no pressure and weather permitting, but that sounds like a plan for next weekend then. Awesome.
Yep.
Now,
And
Paul
don't
is...
forget Venus.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget Venus.
And
It's right
yeah,
next
Venus
door.
should be doable.
Well, some daytime planets. That's going to be a first for us as well. So that'd be awesome, brilliant. Now, Paul, I'm going to click on his beautiful picture, but unfortunately, we can't hear his. I'm trying to click on his picture. There we go. Come on, technology. Unfortunately, we can't hear him or see him, so he can't wave us goodbye. But you can find him on Google Plus as Paul Stewart. He's the Upside Down Astronomer on Instagram and Twitter. He's all over the socials. Check out his work. He can bring live views like that, so well worth checking him out. We also have Kevin Franklin, who promised us that he's going to bring some live views soon. Hello, Kevin.
One day, one day. Not
One day.
not next week, that's for certain.
Not next week, but week after.
Not
So
next
yes,
week. No, I haven't got any solar gear.
excellent.
So
you
hopefully
can,
the weather clears by then.
well,
I'm always around on Google Plus.
excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Kevin, for once again joining us. 3 episodes in a row, and he's not wanted to murder me yet. So this is this is good. I don't know.
Well, you're such a long way away from my fingers to reach.
Yeah, I'm not moving south now. He might be able to murder me. And we also have my fantastic bald-headed presenter. Not emphasizing that too much now.
You can find me on geography.com, Instagram, Dylan_O'Donnell_, and Google Plus. So yeah, just Google me. I'm the #1 Dylan O'Donnell when you Google.
Yes, you can find him. And, you know, with that head now, he should shine quite brightly down south. I will stop picking on you later, promise. And then we also have Andrew, who joined us for the first time tonight. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us.
No worries.
And if we want to find out what you produce, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm on Google Plus somewhere. I got no idea what my name is on there. But yeah, I'm on Google Plus and various forums around the place, like Ice in Space as well in Australia. So I'm known as Astroman on there. So if you want to send me a private message or something, you can do that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and you know, thank you for bringing in right towards the end that live view of Saturn. Oh, it's always brilliant
No
to
worries.
see Saturn. And of course, you can find the Global Star Party on Twitter now. We have a Twitter account, so at Global Star Party. We obviously have our Google Plus account, which you'll find all the events posted to and general goings on. I need to start getting more typey on that account. We now do all the socials as well. We have a Flickr group in progress, which I don't have the link to currently because I think we're still setting that one up. But that will be where our astronomers and you yourselves, the viewers, will be able to share pictures for us to include in the show. So it'll be a nice place to gather up images for the show. You can add details and things like that there, and we will share them out during the intermissions whilst Paul's running around frantically trying to get us live views. You can also find me on Google+. I'm Chris Kennedy, so plus Chris Kennedy. If there's a picture of me wearing this beanie and the sun in the background, that's the right account, that's me. You can also find me on Twitter at @CKMU, and I'm also on Instagram. There's the occasional picture of Lego and beer on there, but for the most part it's space-related stuff, so you can find me as CKMU on Instagram as well. I will one day explain why I use CKEMU as a thing, but that's for another show, I think. So I'd like to say thank you everyone for watching and joining in with this. Thank you to JW Astronomy for bringing that and letting us use that amazing footage of the space station going past Jupiter. That is incredible. To be honest with you, that is probably some of the best footage of the space station I've ever seen, so thank you for that. You should really check out his work. We will leave links to all our astronomers on the YouTube page. I shall set that up in just a moment, so you're able to find us, find all the people that submitted work tonight, and thank you for watching. Again, you can, if you've got the technology and you've got the time, you can join us and you can bring in live views and share them out to the world. I mean, this is what this is all about. It's about bringing space to everyone who wants to see it, is just getting started, has a little bit of a fascination with the subject matter, just to anyone and everyone that can watch. this is the great thing. Space is an incredible thing in general. You know, we live in it, that helps. But there's some beautiful views out there, and it's great to share. So, you know, thank you for joining us. And as I say, next week's show will be the American nighttime edition. Not sure what time we're going to schedule that one for, but the event should go up in the next few days, so check that out. There may be a bit of jiggling just to see if we can include as many American side astronomers as possible. It will be stupid o'clock in the morning in the UK for me, so expect to see a slightly blearier version of this, presenting that one, and hopefully to our southern viewers in Australia and what have you, on that hemisphere of the planet, should be able to bring some daytime views, if not some fantastic commentary. So thank you once again for joining, and good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and thank you.
Yep, see you later.
So,
Bye-bye.